The starship struck the desert just after midnight, tearing across the sand like a dying comet and carving a trench of molten glass that stretched for 3 kilometers. Windows rattled across the sleeping town, but 12-year-old Kaden Rohr was already awake. From his bedroom window, he watched the sky burn red and knew, with sudden certainty, that something terrible had happened. His father would not have hesitated. That thought alone pushed Kaden into motion. He pulled on his boots, grabbed the old toolbox from the garage, and ran toward the distant fire. The ship was nothing like anything humanity had ever built. Its hull was layered in obsidian scales, each the size of a car door, faintly pulsing with dying red light. Heat rolled off it in waves. As Kaden approached, part of the hull peeled open like wounded flesh, revealing a glowing interior filled with sparks and smoke. Something enormous shifted inside. "Stay back, child of Earth," a voice thundered, speaking perfect English with an accent older than mountains. "I am Servala, eternal queen of the Draconis Collective. My ship is dying and I am bound to its systems. If it fails, so do I. There is nothing you can do." Instead of retreating, Kaden stepped closer. Through the torn hull he saw her. She was magnificent and terrifying, a vast being of crimson scales and gold-burning eyes. Her body merged seamlessly with alien machinery, cables feeding from her spine into the ship's core. Sparks danced across failing systems as her breath came in strained, uneven gasps. "My father taught me how to fix things," Kaden said, setting down his toolbox. "He died 3 months ago, but before that he taught me how systems work. How to find what's broken. How to keep things running when you don't have the right parts." "I am a quantum biological hybrid powered by stellar fusion," Servala replied weakly. "Your primitive tools cannot help me." "Maybe not," Kaden said. "But standing here doing nothing definitely won't." Before she could protest again, he climbed through the damaged hull. Inside, the ship was a maze of organic conduits and crystalline circuits, all failing in cascading patterns. Yet Kaden recognized the logic beneath the chaos. Energy had to flow. When it didn't, you found the break. His father had taught him that much, and it had never failed him before. Kaden crouched beside the exposed conduits, watching energy bleed uselessly from severed pathways. Sparks leapt with every pulse of Servala's weakening systems. "Your primary conduits are broken here," he said, pointing to a tangled cluster of cables. "Energy's escaping instead of cycling through life support." "I am aware," Servala replied bitterly. "Those conduits require living metal from my homeworld. You cannot replace them." "I can bypass them," Kaden said, already pulling copper wire and clamps from his toolbox. "My dad worked on old combustion engines. If a fuel line broke, you didn't give up. You bypassed it. It wasn't pretty, but it worked." "You intend to bridge a quantum neural pathway with copper wire?" Servala asked, disbelief edging her voice. "Yes," Kaden said calmly. "It's the absurdity I have." He worked with the focused intensity his father had drilled into him. "Don't panic. Assess. Plan. Execute." Each crude connection was an insult to alien engineering, but slowly, energy began flowing where it needed to go. Warning lights dimmed. Systems stabilized by fractions at a time. "Why are you helping me?" Servala asked. "Your species has never encountered mine. I could be your enemy." "My dad said people who need help are just people who need help," Kaden replied without looking up. "Their reasons don't matter as much as whether you help or walk away." "He never walked away." "Your father was extraordinary," Servala said softly. "He was just a mechanic," Kaden said, voice tightening. "He fixed trucks and cars. Nothing important. But he was really good at it." "How did he die?" she asked gently. Kaden paused, tightening a clamp. "Heart attack. He was under a truck fixing a transmission and his heart just stopped. They said he didn't feel anything. I felt everything." "I am sorry, Kaden," Servala said. "I'm not doing this because I'm sad," he replied. "I'm doing it because this is what he taught me. When something's broken, you fix it. That's how people remember you." For 2 hours, Kaden built a web of improvised solutions that would have horrified any engineer. Slowly, emergency red lights faded to amber, then steady blue. Servala's breathing eased. The ship lived again. "You did it," she said in awe. "A child with copper wire saved technology your species won't master for 1,000 years." "It'll hold," Kaden said. "Not forever. But long enough." Servala studied Kaden with an intensity that should have been terrifying but wasn't. "You have saved the life of a dragon queen," she said. "This creates a debt. Name your reward." "Wealth. Power." Kaden looked at his father's worn tools. "Tell me about your parents," he said. Who taught you things? Servala was silent for a long moment. My mother was Empress Vora. She ruled 3 star systems. She taught me conquest, strategy, dominance. That sounds lonely, Kaden said. It was, Servala admitted. I am 5,000 years old. I have conquered worlds. But no one has ever helped me simply because it was right. Tears slid down Kaden's face. I just wanted to be like him. Then you succeeded, Servala said gently. He would be proud. As her system strengthened, Servala prepared to leave Earth. Before departing, she spoke words that would echo through Kaden's life. I will remember you. For 5,000 more years, I will tell others of the human child who saved me with copper wire and kindness. That's a good thing to be remembered for, Kaden said. The best, she replied. 3 days later, the ship lifted off, leaving a crater and a boy who understood something most adults never learn. We live on through what we teach, what we give, and what we fix. Sometimes the greatest legacy is simply refusing to walk away from something broken. Kaden returned home carrying his father's toolbox, understanding now that it held more than tools. It held a philosophy. Broken things needed fixing. People needed help. And helping was always worth it. Years later, the galaxy would echo with stories of a dragon queen who spoke of humanity not as conquerors, but as builders. And at the center of those stories was a boy, copper wire in his hands, choosing compassion when fear would have been easier. Legacy was not power. Legacy was action. And it endured longer than empires.